element now. Would you believe it if I tell you that within 2 weeks of just getting to the United Kingdom, I was fined £4 for entering the wrong train? Yes, you heard that right. My name is Tunde Phillips, and in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through 10 culture shocks I have experienced within just 2 months of being in the United Kingdom. So just sit back, enjoy whatever it is you like drinking or eating, and click in this video. It promises to be amazing. Yeah, thank you. So the first on the list is the standard of living. You see, I've always known the United Kingdom to be a rich country, but until I got here, I didn't really understand what it means. So what it means here is that you don't need to have a university degree or a PhD or think about any higher degree. You don't need any of that to live a decent life. I mean, to make the basic provisions. I mean, to provide the basic necessity of life for yourself and your immediate family, right? It makes it even more interesting if more than one person in the family works. So this means that if you work in the United Kingdom, provided you are legally allowed to work, you should not earn lower than £10.42 per hour of work you do. And to make this make sense to you, it means you can take £10.42 to any supermarket or to any market to buy the things your family need to eat in one meal. This is really shocking to me because I am not used to it, if you know what I mean. Number 2 is the health system. This one has not made sense to me. As I write to you, as I speak to you, this still does not make sense to me because the health system here is kind of different. Number 1, it is very expensive for you to be able to afford private healthcare. So what this means is that there are public health facilities that are, doing a lot of bigger things that smaller hospitals like the primary health cares cannot take care of. And we also have the private hospitals, right? So if you're a resident of the United Kingdom, from what I've been able to gather, you can't just wake up one day to say, oh, you're feeling funny and you just want to go to a primary health care center. In this place they call them the GP, right? You can't just wake up one day to say, oh, I'm going to the GP and I'm going there because I'm feeling funny and I want to speak to a doctor. You can't do that. You have to have an appointment before you're able to see a doctor. And if that is not bad enough, this appointment can be as long as 3 months. It means once you've been able to speak with them that, oh, this thing is wrong with you and all, they give you an appointment, and the appointment can be in 3 months time. So it means if you say you're feeling funny today and you've been given an appointment, you may be able to see the doctor in 3 months time or in 2 months time or in 1 month's time, right? But if the situation is super critical, then you can be attended to immediately. While I try to get the sense in this, I still don't think it makes any sense, right? Because I, for one, am from a place where I wake up, I'm feeling funny, something I don't understand how my stomach is doing me. I can just put my shirt on and go straight to the hospital and I would see a doctor. And I won't have to pay through the nose, So this is shocking to me, and yeah, it still doesn't make sense to me. Yes. The next shocking thing is the fact that people grow old in the United Kingdom. As of today, the life expectancy in the UK is 81 years, right? So what this means is that if nothing crazy happens to you, if you don't have any life-threatening illness, if you are just born in the UK and you live in the UK, or you've been living in the UK, right, for whatever reason, you are not expected to die until you get to 81 years old, right? So that's interesting, and that's not shocking, right? It's just interesting. The shocking part is the fact that these old people in the United Kingdom still do regular things that everyone else does, right? I mean, they still go to work, they still go to parks to play, they still go to bed shops to place bets, they go to malls to shop, and it's even more interesting when you see old couples, right? They still do PDAs, interestingly, right? They go places together, they still kiss in public and do all these things. In fact, you will want to grow old when you see how old people are being treated and how old people live their lives, over here. And I think that's really interesting. Yeah, the next culture shock is the fact that everywhere is relatively safe and crime free. And by this, I mean, on one hand, people go about their daily life without having to bother about someone wanting to harm them or rob them of their valuables. And I think this is closely tied to the fact that the average person is not incentivized to want to take to crime, if you get what I mean from my previous set of points, right? So it means that everyone wants to just go about their lives and then go back to their houses to just go and sleep, right? And on the other hand, I've seen police officers on the streets and they are not wielding guns. So that goes to just show that there isn't anything to do in terms of forcefully arresting people who have done something and all. And lastly, I walked on the streets at different times of the day, and every important place is well lit. And I think these things, even though they are minute, they are really interesting to me, and they are things I'm not that used to, right? But I think I would adjust with time. Yeah. The fifth culture shock to me are the unwritten social rules. So I'll start with the first one I observed. The first one is the fact that people queue for almost everything. So it's a social norm that if you go to anywhere or you want to do anything that requires you being answered, one after the other, you have to queue. It's in their instinct, right? You have to queue. And if you, for whatever reason, jump the line, people look at you funny. Nobody pushes you back or anything, but they look at you funny. They give you this look that, are you really okay? But I find that really amazing, because I've always wanted a place where you can actually be sane without anybody applying force to make you do these things. You know what I mean? So queuing is one of those things that really shocks me. Everything, they queue for everything, And the next one is the fact that people are made to be punctual. I don't know how best to put this. It means you mostly don't have an excuse for why you won't come early to events, for why you won't come early to work. I've seen places where if you come late to work on 3 different occasions within a particular time frame, you will get a note to fire. What this means is that you'll be called to sit one-on-one with your manager, and they will tell you if you come late one more time, you will be fired, no matter how good you are at the job. So that's how seriously they take punctuality. I once was invited to an event that I had to come to directly from work. So the event was supposed to last for 3 hours, and I was about an hour late. I got to the venue, everywhere was locked, and the event started already. I had to go home. So that's how much they take punctuality. So they don't expect you, except maybe anything crucial happens to you. Maybe someone died, or maybe something drastic happens. You are not expected to come late. And the economy has been built such that you won't have any reason to say, oh, this is why I came late, right? And this is really interesting. Another social rule that I find appealing as well is people saying thank you for almost everything. They are quite polite. You see people saying thank you to bus drivers after coming down. A lot of times, you buy something from someone, they are telling you, these things are basic things, right, that everybody can do. But it is just something surprising to me that everybody in a particular country, or almost everybody in a particular country, get to understand how much these things go, and they are willing to also do that. I think that's shocking to me. All right, the 6th one is the smoking and vaping culture over here, right? I'm from a country where smoking is a norm, right? I didn't really think I will be, amused, or I will be surprised by smoking anywhere else, right? But when I got to the UK, I understood that there are levels to everything in this life. The way people smoke is something I cannot explain, but let me try painting the picture, right? Smoking is so much a part of the culture that on a typical day of work, everyone is given 1 hour of break, right? It means if you resume 8 o'clock, you close 5, you have 1 hour to go on break to do whatever you want to do. So it means if you don't smoke, you have 1 hour. But if you have a friend who smokes and you are working, or a colleague who smokes, and you guys are working in the same company, let's say the same department, this person also has 1 hour of break. But aside that 1 hour, the person also has as many number of minutes they want to take to go and smoke. So it means if this person takes 5 sticks of cigarettes in one day, the person can go to smoke, to go for this break 5 times, walk out for like 10-15 minutes, or let's say 5 minutes, to go take a stick and come back and go again if he feels like, or if he feels like going, and come back. So you have just 1 hour. I find that really, really surprising, right? That's on the smoking side. And for the vaping side, there are actually vape shops. So it means you can come here to buy vapes. And another thing that put me totally off was the fact that smoking does not have age range or whatever. Anybody, like you see secondary school students smoking or vaping, right? It is normal. Like, it is not a crime. It is not something you do. It is, in fact, if you do not smoke, you will be seeing yourself as socially unfit. I'm telling you. Another thing that really surprises me about this is the fact that even if you don't smoke, you are a smoker. Because if you are walking on the street, someone is either smoking in front of you or beside you, and then they don't care about the fact that the smoke is coming into your nose. So it's either you live there or you walk faster or whatever. But yeah, this one is really surprising. If I go out today and I still see someone smoking, it will still surprise me. It is shocking indeed. Number 7 is the fact that the streets and everything in it is optimized for the physically challenged. You know, where I come from, if you are physically challenged, let's say for whatever reason, let's say you got involved in an accident and you lost one of your legs, or maybe from birth you have, a deficiency that you're not able to, walk by yourself, or for whatever reason you are handicapped, or whatever reason, right? It practically means the end of your life, because even the society looks at you funny. It means you probably will not have access to some opportunities just because you are not whole, right? But here, it is interestingly surprising that it has been optimized for people who are physically challenged. In fact, I'm having a rethink that perhaps the people who built this country built it first to allow people who are physically challenged thrive before they start thinking of people who are not physically challenged, right? Because everywhere you go to, from the walkway, something has been done to ensure that if you are on a wheelchair or anything else, you can do anything you want. You won't have any issues, right? Almost every public facility here has a wheelchair walkway for anybody. If you have an event, in the form you are using to sign up, you mostly will be asked, if you need any help or any consideration to be made for you while you are coming in. If you're applying for a job, there's provision there. They will ask you, are you physically challenged? Because companies want to ensure that they are perceived as being, balanced, right? So they want to do all they can to also bring in people who are physically challenged. So it's a badge of honor. You are a part of the society. You don't feel less about yourself, and then you are encouraged to contribute your quota to the economy. And I find that really, really interesting and surprising at the same time. So yeah, the 8th one is the fact that the entire environment has been optimized for healthy lifestyle. So what it means is that everything has been positioned in a way that if you go through these things, you will be healthy in and out. So let me give some instances, right? In the United Kingdom, the cost of using an Uber is expensive. right? It is on the high side. Let me just put it that way. It is expensive. So it means Uber is not your default means of transportation. It's the last thing you want to think about because it is expensive, right? So it means you don't use that. So if you need to get from point A to point B, you either want to walk, take a bus, or use the train. And the interesting thing about bus stations and train stations is that they are mostly not going to be directly in front of your house, except you are fortunate to live beside the train station, right? But most people do not. So it means from your house, you'd have to walk a couple of minutes every day to the bus station to take the bus to go to wherever you're going. And when you get there, you probably would need to also walk from the station to wherever you're going to. And when you're coming back, you repeat that. So doing this every day ensures that you are exercising yourself, right? And another thing is the fact that the food that has been consumed here expire faster. So what this means is that the manufacturers have been encouraged to not add preservatives to the food. So you can go to get a milk now, and then the milk, a keg of milk will be expiring in the next 2 weeks. You're going to buy eggs, and the eggs will be expiring in 2 weeks. So it means you have to consume them fast because producers or manufacturers have been encouraged not to produce food items that will last long, right? And that means less additives will be put to it, and you can actually easily consume it, and then you won't have to battle with any other thing, inside of you. So a lot of things are not even sweetened, except you cook food in the house and you want to make it properly sweet. Instances like milk, like a keg of milk is not sweet. It is not sweet. Milk is not sweet. Let me leave it at that. Milk is not sweet. What else? Yogurt, you rarely find Greek yogurt that will, be sweetened. You mostly not even find yogurts that will be sweet, right? But of course, there are other brands of yogurt that you can buy that are deliberately maybe made to be sweet a bit. So a lot of things are not just bread. You eat bread and the bread is not sweet. It is just bland and plain, So these things have been optimized such that when you just go through them, they will make you live a healthy life. The streets can sometimes be slopey, You want to walk, you are walking up a hill. It looks like you are walking up a hill. So I find these things really interesting and shocking at the same time, because it means I don't really need to go to the hospital, because there's even no mosquito, for crying out loud, so I can't have malaria. So I really find this interesting and fascinating at the same time. Yeah, this is exactly 4:32 p.m. I had to come out to do this for you to just see how it looks like everywhere. And it starts around 4 o'clock and then it gets darker with every passing second. Yeah. The second to the last on the list is the weather. You see, I've always known that, the United Kingdom is going to be cold, there is the winter, and the winter is when everything is cold, there is the summer, there is the fall, there is this and that. I didn't really understand how cold it could get, right? I mean, the kind of cold that will burn you. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. I'm not used to cold. I don't like it, right? But I didn't really expect that it would be this cold. The cold that can start making you feel feverish. That's the kind of cold I'm being subjected to. It is one of the worst things I'm having to cope with here. It is surprising. Like, I knew it would be cold, but nothing prepared me for how cold it would be here, right? And another thing about the weather condition is that it is very, very, erratic. You can come out today and then everywhere is sunny, and you're going, before you take like 2 minutes or 3 minutes step, it can start to rain, right? And in the midst of all this, it is still cold. So you're having to deal with a lot of things at the same time, and it really can mess up your mind. So this one is really something I don't know how long it will take me to cope with it, but I'm trying. And last on the list is how religion is practiced over here. The way religion is practiced is such that everyone is free to do whatever they want, but the line you can't cross is the fact that you cannot make another person feel uncomfortable while you are going about, practicing your religion. And I think this is an amazing one, and it's shocking to me compared, to what I've experienced all my life, right? So it means anytime I want to shoot a video, I can shoot a video without having to make provision for any external interference I will be experiencing, maybe from a religious house close by or something. So I really find this shocking, because even when you go to churches or even in mosques, you don't really find a lot of young people in these houses. You mostly find middle-aged to old people doing this, because a bunch of people are not as religious compared to where I'm from, right? So it's the last shocking thing I would want to talk about in this video. So yeah, what had happened was I had an interview that I had to attend in Kitby, and it was just 2 weeks after getting to the United Kingdom, and I took a train. So before boarding the train, I bought a two-way ticket already. So after finishing my interview, coming back, I stood on the platform where the train is supposed to wait and then take me back to where I'm coming from. So at the platform, the train did not come at the scheduled time, and every other person who wanted to take the same train, I assumed they wanted to take the same train, right? They started coming to join me, and I was happy. Oh, everything is going well. When this train comes, all of us will enter. Mind you, it's my first time of taking the train in the United Kingdom. So this train got there. Mind you, it is the same train company, right? What's the name? I think it's Northern Train, right? The same train company. So it means, oh, this train finally is here, so everybody let us enter. So everybody entered, and then I also entered. On getting to the train, I saw, oh, it's going to different places, and then on the way back it was going like the same route I was going, and everything was fine. The people who usually check the tickets to be sure that you are not a fraud or whatever, they came and then they checked the ticket, it was fine, and they left. And the next thing was I found myself in Leeds instead of Bradford. What's happening? Before I could do anything, let's go to see the ticket officers to explain to them that, oh, what's happening? I'm supposed to be in Bradford. Why am I in Leeds? And then they said, oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's have your information. I gave them my information, and my expectation was that these people will put me in the right train and then free of charge, and just do kindness for me and all. The next thing was, they said, let's have the ticket. They collected the ticket, and then they asked that I buy a new ticket to take me from Leeds to Bradford. So I had to spend extra £10 buying, I think about £4 and some amount. I bought it back to Bradford. I thought that was it, I was feeling bad that I had to spend extra money after getting a return ticket and all. And then the third day, I got a mail, that's a letter, and then I picked it, opened it, and the next thing I saw was, you have been fined £4 and you have to pay this money between this time and this time. If you don't pay this money, you will be taken to court. And not just that, we will take you to court, and if found guilty, you will have to pay us part of the money we use in hiring the lawyer that will stand for. It sounded funny, right? But I'm not joking, right? That was what they said. So what they've accused me of was taking the wrong train, right? It's more like I am defrauding the system, because I'm supposed to be going to Bradford. Why did I come to Leeds? I was angry. I wanted to pursue. I wanted to write them an email to say what But so I spoke to my neighbor, and he was like, what he would advise is that I pay the money, and then after paying the money, I should then put forth my complaint. So I did that, and then I I wrote my complaints, I pieced two, wrote it, sent it to them, and they gave me a response, and they were like, okay, can we see your ticket that you bought, blah blah blah. And I'm like, these people are putting me on the long thing, so I had to just end everything there. But this is one experience I really don't want to remember. It is funny and at the same time it is disgusting, but yeah, it's just one of those things, welcome to the United Kingdom. So I told a couple of my friends and they were like, don't worry, it's happened to the best of us too and all. So yeah, that was my own experience. I don't know if it has happened to anyone before. Maybe you missed the bus or whatever. If you have been fined before as well, let me know what happened to you and all, but that's my own experience, sha. So yeah, alright, so we've come to the end of today's video, and I really appreciate you for waiting this long or for watching till this point. So please, if you haven't subscribed already, kindly subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and also share this video with anyone who you think may find it helpful. So till I come your way next time with another interesting video, stay blessed, stay out of trouble, and always do something every day to push you closer to your goals. Bye.